So I actually have Zotero pulled up on my screen right now, and you can see over on the left, these are actually folders that I've created. Remember I said in the earlier video that you can totally tailor Zotero to your needs. So you can create folders where you can actually store and organize your sources. This is tremendously helpful for doctoral students, master's students who are managing a large number of citations to be able to quickly and easily find sources that they have saved. They can search by keywords that are attached in the metadata for the item and pull those up very quickly. They can search by author, anything that's in the title of the article, and quickly find a source that they need. They can also create folders over here on the left. So these are all folders I have manually created for myself. One of the wonderful things about Zotero, similar to EndNote, you can drag and drop articles into certain folders. It's very quick to do that. You can select multiple items if you would like. So you can hold down your command and, shift and select multiple items there. Okay, and then just drag them over to a folder. When you see the little green plus sign, that means it's ready to pull those into that folder. You see it already pulled those in, super fast and easy. The My Library column is going to be absolutely everything you have ever saved to your Zotero library. So your library is basically just your database of sources. That's all it is. It's a file where you're saving all of your sources. And when you're on the My Library tab, like I am right now, it's showing you absolutely everything you've ever saved. You can see the different types of sources here. So what I like about Zotero is it actually denotes the format by a little icon. So the little white paper is a journal article. The little cap is a dissertation or a thesis. The little blue book is, of course, a book or a book chapter. I'm not sure what this one is. It's a different one I haven't seen before, but you'll see over here on the right, it'll denote the item type. It'll give you the details. So all of this is information that was pulled down from the database that I didn't have to manually enter any of this information in. It's already there, and it's ready for me to cite any of these sources at any point whenever I'm ready to use them. Over here on the left, we can scroll down a little bit. You can see that I have group libraries. So basically what these are libraries that I've shared with other users. So this is tremendously helpful if you are a research assistant working with a faculty member and you want to help them collect sources for a project. You can easily set up a group. I'll show you guys how to do this a little bit later on. And you can throw sources in. You can just drag and drop them from your own library and then sync your library with your online account and then share those with the professor, just like that. It's really fast, easy to do that. You can see up here that mine is actually syncing right now. So one of the beautiful things about Zotero, and in fact all citation managers do this, is they sync with the cloud account. So it's syncing with Zotero.org right now. It's actually creating a backup. And it does this periodically so that if at any point my computer crashes and I need to reinstall Zotero, I'm going to be able to just reinstall the program, put in my username and password and my preferences, and it'll pull all of my sources down. Okay, I'm going to go back up just a little bit and just go over this right screen over here on the side. All of this information can be edited. So if at some point I find that, the issue is wrong with this one, I can just quickly change it. Whenever I do that, if I've referenced the source in a paper, it will automatically update and make those changes. Any papers where I have mentioned or referenced this source, it'll make that change. So it's a beautiful thing, great for saving time. I'll just kind of go over the main navigation. So you can create new collections. New collections are basically just these folders that I see over here on the left. So a new collection is a folder. This is where you can create a new library. Students will ask me a lot of times, do I need to have separate libraries to save my sources? And the answer is no. I do not recommend doing that. I recommend creating one library like this one file I have open right now, and then creating folders or collections over on the left where you can save things. So you can have a collection for a class or for a project, or if you're working on a project with a professor, you can have all of those sorted out. You only need one library. You don't need to have multiple libraries. If you have multiple libraries, that means you have to have multiple files that you're opening whenever you're going into the Zotero program. And it's much easier to have one library where you're saving everything and then just organize within that one library. You can do manual entry for different types of format sources. So if you have like a book in front of you and for some reason you can't find that book in a database or in a library catalog, you can actually add that as a manual item. So whenever you click book, it's creating a blank record over here where we can actually type in the information and then save this. Most of the time you are not going to have to do a manual entry unless it's for a document that doesn't exist in a database. Maybe it's something that is a primary document that hasn't been digitized yet, so it doesn't live in a database where we can actually save that information. You can also add by ISBN number. So if you have the ISBN number of a book, you can put it in. Now it won't, of course, save the PDF of the book. It's just going to save the citation information for the book there, but it'll create an entry for that. You can create different notes and attach them to the record. So you can see on my screen here, I have a little arrow out beside some of these items that I have saved. That means there is something additional attached to that item. So whenever you click the arrow, you're going to be able to see what that is. And you can see for some of these, it actually has a snapshot that it took of the page. And it won't actually save that snapshot. It'll save a link to it. So you can see what the page looked like and what you were looking at whenever you were viewing that item on that date whenever it was saved. So that's kind of a cool thing, and it tells you when it was saved. All of that information is there. This one is a great example because it actually has the PDF attached. So that's what that would look like within Zotero. The preferences are a good thing for us to just take a quick peek at. So I'll go over to the General tab. This is where you can just change different things. So if you want to change your font, you want to change the layout. The layout is set to standard, which is what my view is right now, where you have your main library down the middle, you have your folders on the left, and then over on the right you have the detail for the item you have selected. If you want to have it stacked, that's just going to change it where your detail is going to be at the bottom of the screen. You can see a little bit of a preview of that back here if I move it for you. Okay, change your font size. All of those options are here. You can change whether you want it to take snapshots when you're saving web pages. All of your different things you can control and change. The sync is a very important thing to know about. This is where I can tell it what my account is for Zotero, and this is where it's actually creating the backup and creating a backup of my content in my Zotero library. It'll automatically set this up by default whenever you create your account. I'm going to go ahead and pop over to Cite. So this is where you can specify what citation style you want Zotero to use for the sources that you're citing whenever you get to citing them and using them with Word. There are additional styles on the Zotero website, so if you click the Get Additional Styles, you can search by title. So if you want to look for example, Journal of Communication, you want to see if that style is here. So find it, Journal of Communication, sort of, it's not finding the regular Journal of Communication, but we can see all of these here, and then we can go ahead and just click on the one that we want. It'll give you a preview of the bibliography, and then it'll go ahead and add that to one of your styles that you can then choose from whenever you're formatting. This is an important thing to know about. So sometimes with Microsoft Word, the drop-down menu will not be showing up for students, and it's just a matter of closing down all Word applications, or I'm sorry, Office applications, and then just clicking reinstall the Word add-in, and then it should show up for students. So that's where, when you're in Microsoft Word, the Zotero toolbar. I'm on a Mac right now. On a PC, it's going to show up as a menu item up here. It'll say Zotero. And this is where students can talk to Zotero and actually pull in sources whenever they're writing their paper or create their bibliography. Okay. All right. Those are kind of the most important things to know about the preferences. And really, that's a really nice overview of the interface of the program as well. I didn't mention the sync, but this is where you can force it into a sync. If you've recently added some new items, it's going to sync periodically, but if it doesn't, you can force it into a sync so that you have a backup in your cloud account of those items you've recently saved.